Alright, the curtain is not UV resistant, so we do not leave it out prolonged in the sun. If we're using it the next day, that's fine, but when camp is closed, we take it down. So, I have a yellow line here. We click one end of the curtain into that. I take the other line, flip it up on the tree. And we store the net in the bucket. We will continue to pull until it gets nice and tight. And then this carabiner, which is in the middle, will get clipped on that blue cable to support the middle of the cable. These are adjustable draw weight bows, which means teenagers can use them and 8-year-olds can use them. If you notice, there's a gap here. That is the adjustment point. I take my tool to adjust this, and I start by screwing it all the way in until there is no gap. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do equally to the other. So if I unscrew one side 3 turns, I screw the other side, unscrew the other side 3 turns. If I unscrew it too much, it will come apart, but that doesn't happen unless you're just goofing off. Also, we never ever dry fire a bow, which means to pull back and let go without an arrow. It will damage the bows and possibly shatter them. So, to tell if you have proper draw strength, take the bow, that hand, grab here, now just pull back.
Or just hold it?
Yeah, just pull back and hold. As far as you can. So it'll actually set, so keep pulling. Now, they should not be shaking, they should be able to hold it. Does that feel good or is that a lot of tension?
A lot of tension.
Okay, so loosen it. Now I'm going to back this off a minute. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. More tension does not make the bow better or more accurate. Having it set to you makes it more accurate. Go ahead, pull back. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So my shooters have their bows, they have their arrows, they are all standing in a line behind their cones. Until everyone is done shooting and all the bows are hung back up, no one can proceed forward, ever. If anyone starts to go forward, we yell stop and all shooters have to stop shooting. So, step 1 to shooting is stance. You stand sideways with a wide stance. You pick your arrow and you knock it, which means clicking it underneath the little brass knob with the odd feather out. There's one feather that's a different color that will stick out. You get your draw hand set, 3 fingers under the arrow. Your bow hand set, straight arm out at the target, ready to draw. This is our pre-draw. Now we draw and we anchor to our cheek. Same spot on the cheek every time. It's like aiming a gun. Then you visualize your shot, aim, and shoot. And they will proceed to shoot until everyone runs out of arrows and all the bows are hung back up on the rack before anyone goes to get their arrows. The number 1 cause of injury in archery is not shooting the bow, it is removing the arrows. So be very careful when removing an arrow that you don't stab someone behind you. So what we do is first put my hand on each side of the arrow, I grip it by the base and I look behind me. No one should be right here when I pull this arrow out, or I will stab them with my arrow. Now that I have the arrow, I don't keep it in my hand to pull out the next one, I just drop it on the ground. And I go to the next one, because if I keep a handful of arrows, 1, I don't get good grip, and it increases the pointy objects pointing at other people. So I drop it, and I pull, and I drop. Then I can collect my arrows and return. To take down the curtain, first we group it in the middle. Take our trash can, put the curtain in the trash can, and we will continue to put it in the trash can as we lower. So we unclip the high hook off the blue cable. It's a bit tough.
Thanks. There you go.
Okay.
Do I
over
keep
here.
the clip or not?
Then we loosen the pulley.
Oh, you need that.
So the crank has a release lever on the bottom. So if I pull, I can get this lever to release. And if I let it go, I might get hurt. So it's not a good idea to let it go. Then we unclip the far cable. That stays on the middle. It stays on there. Yeah, it stays in the middle of the curtain. And then we take this all back inside the shed for safe storage. And that is our cleanup routine.